Hey, this is Jim. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. This is one of those episodes that is on YouTube, but also if you're watching us on YouTube right now, I need to remind you that you can go to silentjim.com and see a whole bunch more, actually hear a whole bunch more episodes that aren't on YouTube. So if you're only watching our YouTube videos, you need to get over there, get on our mailing list, listen to all of those great episodes that weren't video recorded, because we have a lot of great content that we just didn't turn on the video camera for. Today's guest is Rich and Shelly, and man, they are killing it. They're on our coaching team, our Jim Cockrum coaching team, and they've built a business where he's gone full-time a little over a year ago, and they're about to hit 2.5 million this year, and it's not a complicated model. Again, this is another Replens success story. This is another couple doing the business together, doing what it takes to make it work, building an incredible, flexible lifestyle. And I'm just so proud of these guys. They are setting aside some time to work with our students because they've got things so automated. That's beautiful. You'd think maybe they'd be spinning their wheels constantly with a business of that size, but they've put in place a team that does the vast majority, nearly all the work, as you'll hear, for them. And they have some very small roles to play in maintaining this business. And now they're coaching with us. How cool is that? So as we get into their story today, remember these guys were also recording number 221, episode 221. That's the first time we met them. That was right after Rich had gone full time and left his real job. And now here we are a year later getting an update. I love these update episodes so we can hear how things are going, how things have progressed since then, and their business has grown. And he said he wants to have an 8-figure business soon. Something else to know about these guys is they're true multiple income stream heroes, meaning they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. And we're going to talk about how they're doing that with Amazon. They have multiple streams of income. And I love their mindset there. Many good lessons today, many good strategies. Let's jump over and meet Rich. And you'll notice towards the end, Shelly makes an appearance. She actually had some errands to run, but she jumps in as well. So you get to see her too and learn a couple lessons from her. So let's jump over and meet Rich and Shelly. So Rich, welcome back to Silent Sales Machine Radio. Good to see you again.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me back. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome, man. A lot has happened since we last did an episode together. And I can't wait to hear the story of filling the gaps, man. A lot of exciting things happening. Fill us in.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been almost a year to the day, I guess, huh? Maybe a little bit more. But just last time we were on, I had just quit my job. Just went full time. We had just bought a gym. A lot of crazy stuff was going on, but it's been really good since.
Yeah, you've always been a multiple income streams guy. And you bought that gym, and we talked about it. The timing of you selling that was pretty awesome, I think, right?
Yeah, we got into it, and it wasn't a right fit for us. It was kind of a dream that we'd had for a while, and so we got in it. We had it for a couple of months, and it was really kind of splitting my focus, and I was having some stress and anxiety with it. It just wasn't a right fit. So we sold it after about 2 months, and was able to just kind of refocus on the Amazon business and our event business with our photo booths and stuff. And
right.
It's been really good since. I could say it was a bad move, but it wasn't, because it got me out of my job and it got me focused where, I could spend more time with my family and focus on our other businesses. So, we lost a little bit of money, we learned a lesson, and, got out of it just in time. The pandemic would have been pretty awful had we still owned it.
That was a rough business to be in. During the shutdown, for sure. So you guys got out before that. But most listeners to this show are going to be very curious about, a couple components. One of them is Amazon, but you guys are killing it. And you've really got a beautiful automated system now. And the other is the multiple income stream. You truly are living that multiple income stream lifestyle where you're not completely reliant on any one income stream. So I want to hit both those themes today and just kind of let you take the microphone. And you've become a coach on our team now, which is phenomenal. I really am just we're so blessed with incredible coaches, you guys among them. And I learn every time I speak or hang out with any of you guys because you're doing such a great job. So fill us in, just take the ball and run with it, man. I'm just here to learn and enjoy the update because we haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. So yeah, last we spoke, I had just quit my job. We had recently got our first lease, and so we were doing consistently about $1 million a year on Amazon. We'd had kind of a 3-year period of time where we had hit $1 million year after year after year, and just decided it was time to really focus on it, quit my job, and just kind of hit the ground running there. So quit my job at the end of last August, and we made our part-time bagger and tagger that was working out of our house our full-time office manager. And so him and I were able to better focus on sourcing and spending a lot more time, and the growth we've seen since then has just been phenomenal. So we kind of I guess we dug into the replens course in December. And so we bought that course, and Richard, me, and my wife, Shelly, we started watching the videos and going through that. And then it was about January 1st, 2020 that we really started sourcing replens. And it's revolutionized our business. It's crazy what it's done for us. And not just like the arbitrage side of it that we've added to our business, but it's really helped grow our wholesale stuff too.
That's exciting. Yeah, maybe that's a third arm of what I want to get into today is how replens leads into wholesale.
Yeah.
Replens leads into private label because you're out there doing you're making money while you're doing research. Instead of spending money to do research, maybe we should start using that as a theme. We teach you how to make money while you're researching for hot products instead of spending money to research for hot products, right? Does that resonate?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So, I think we kind of do replens probably a little bit different than a lot of people. We're not spending a lot of time in the stores, in aisles. Kind of started off with taking photos and coming back to the office and doing research that way. And it led to a lot of just other like online type arbitrage. But just the reverse sourcing methods that we're learning is crazy how it's just helped us with the way we approach wholesale now. Instead of just scanning lists and then doing that kind of thing, we're looking up keywords, titles, descriptions, and finding a whole bunch of listings that we wouldn't have found otherwise.
Talk us through that a little bit. Give us a tip on maybe how you found some of your hot selling items without giving too much information away. Give us the scoop. Like, what's that process look like?
Goodness. Well, I think for us, it's a lot of those 2-packs and 3-packs that are someone created the listing and they didn't optimize it, and so it may not be ranking great, but it's still selling and it's selling profitably. So as we search for those keywords, we're finding those, and the buyers are finding them, but we're not finding them as sellers typically, the way that we were searching before with just UPCs and downloading full Excel files into scanners. So we'll take these lists and we can sort them by the brand, and then the way we kind of like to do it is we like to go into Amazon and we like to have Amazon tell us what's selling.
Amazon.com, just the free
Absolutely.
shopping site.
Absolutely.
Yep. That's the best sourcing tool out there, the free Amazon.com website.
Yeah. So we'll search the brand on Amazon, and we kind of using Keepa, and we have a couple other tools that we like to use that just kind of give us an estimate of what's selling. And then it's from there that we go from there back to the list a lot of times instead of the list to Amazon and trying to find what's selling. We like to look at what's already selling and cross-reference that through the list. So it's been something that's really helped us.
How many, you say you're doing replens, how many ASINs have you got rocking out there right now?
So we have, it's kind of an interesting market with the pandemic still going on. If we could source everything, if we could find everything in stock, we'd have over 1,700 active SKUs right now. But because of, it's hard to find some of the stuff, we still have approximately 1,200 SKUs active at any time. And we had like 300 when we last spoke,
Okay.
so we've added, 1,000 SKUs in the last 12 months. And really, it's really since January that we've added those.
Because that's when you started getting serious. Yeah. About the replens model. That was episode, you reminded me before we started recording, episode 221. If people want to go back and listen to where you guys were a year ago.
Yeah.
And how excited you were to just be going full time. And Shelly was with you for that interview as well, which was just super cool hanging out with the two of you guys. But it's just such a great story. Let's transition over into, we've mentioned wholesale just a little bit. How have you used replens to get into wholesale? Talk us through like a typical story there of how that went down.
Well, I mean, wholesale was our focus from the beginning.
Okay.
We've done wholesale for 4 years, and then it was in January that we added replens.
Okay, right.
So our main focus, our 7-figure business was built on the backbone of wholesale. But now adding arbitrage, something that we'd always kind of ignored before, when we're outsourcing, it's not wholesale or nothing, right? Now it's, where can I buy this product replenishable anywhere? Can I buy it at Walmart? Can I buy it at the dollar store? Can I find a wholesale? Can I go direct to the brand, or can I find a distributor? So it's opened us up from just that tunnel vision we had on brand direct to, hey, if we can find it over at the local grocery store, why don't we buy it there? And then at the same time, let's check with a few distributors. Let's check with the brand. And so it's really just kind of opened things wide up, where before we'd ask the brand if we could sell it and they'd say no, and that would be it. So I think it's our whole method, our whole philosophy on selling right now is replenishable product. And that's always been through the wholesale mindset. But there's no reason that Walmart can't be my wholesale supplier for whatever item, right? So that's kind of how I look at it now.
That's awesome. So talk me through some of these relationships that you've established. Do you have any key relationships that you've built up that you've kind of got a little inside track, or, hey, they call you when they've got more of the product? Have you done any of that sort of thing as you've built your business?
So some of the key relationships that we've built, we've actually started doing a little bit of consulting for them. We do have a brand that it's a chiropractor who has developed his own pillow that supports correct alignment while you're sleeping. And he approached us. It's been about a month and a half ago now. So this is a fairly new relationship for us. And he it was from one of my part-time employees that he was at his chiropractor and he was just talking about what he's doing part-time. And so his chiropractor wanted to meet me. And so he came in and sat down with us for a couple hours.
You were all straightening up your posture, right?
Yeah. So I kind of explained what we did and how we did it. And I presented 2 different models to him. I told him that we could buy wholesale from him, and we would then, we would sell it under our account. But I recommended to him, since he was local and it was really easy to have just a great relationship with this guy here just down the street, that he's already had an Amazon account. He tried selling on Amazon a couple of years ago and it just went nowhere. Mm-hmm. And so I told him, I'm like, let's just set up a relationship where I manage your account for you.
Beautiful.
Just I'll swing by, I'll pick up the product, or you can ship the product or drop it off to me, and then I'll take over. So you just need to assign rights to me to get into your account. And when he tried it, he was doing it for a couple months, and I think he sold like 5 or 6.
Sure.
We're into it a month now, and just Sunday we sold 3 in a single day. which it may not be great numbers, right? But for him,
For him, that's awesome.
Excited about that.
Yeah, 2 or 3 a day. That's a great new income stream. I'm sure it's a high margin product for him.
Oh, it is. Awesome. Yeah, it is. It's a great product. It's his only product.
Right.
And they're selling on Facebook. They have someone managing that or whatever, and they're doing okay there, but they're just not reaching the audience that they want to. So.
And for the newer listeners around here, some may already know what we're talking about, but that's actually one of the modules inside the Proven Amazon course is the PPP, Proven Product Partnering. It teaches you everything you need to know to do exactly what Rich just described. Partner with someone who has a brand that's not on Amazon yet, or it's not doing well on Amazon, and help them get it ramped up. And part of the beauty of that is it's yet another income stream. You can actually have multiple Amazon accounts that way, right?
Yeah.
Because you're getting an income from more than one Amazon account now, legitimately. And Amazon's fine with it. It's not your account. You're been assigned administrative rights. And I'm assuming that your arrangement was you get a percentage of sales.
It is, yep. So the arrangement was I'd go in and I'd work on his listing so that his listing looked better, it ranked better. And so we've done that, and we're starting to see the results of that. It's starting to rank for keywords, and it's starting to really move up in search. I mean, before I couldn't even find it. And now we're like halfway down page 1. So we're really getting up there, and it's working. So yeah, it's a great new revenue stream for us. We love the multiple revenue streams. As you mentioned, and the multiple revenue streams, to go back to that, has really saved us, because during this pandemic, our event business is completely shut down.
Right.
We went from doing 30 to 50 events a month to I've done 2 events in the last 7 months. Wow. So that completely dried up.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Amazon and for the coaching and for the consulting, I probably would have had to go back to working again. So,
well, you guys are killing it on Amazon. You're sitting what now? As we're recording this, we're in, just past mid-September, and you guys are sitting, if I remember correctly, 1.5 million in sales so far on Amazon for the year.
We're 1.7 million for the year.
1.7 so far, and expecting a very strong fourth quarter, I would imagine.
We are, yeah. We're run rating at like 2.2 to 2.3, but with it being fourth quarter, I really think we can hit 2.5,
2.5 million,
2.6. Yep.
Beautiful. Yep. And I want to talk through how automated this is, because a lot of people are thinking, oh, wow, Rich must get up at 4 a.m. and go to every Walmart and Target and retail store in the area and fill his car and rush home, and then Shelly tapes boxes all day.
No.
And some people do that. I mean, that is what I just described as a couple, that is a $500,000 to $1 million operation. Putting $200,000 to $300,000 in the bank. Not a bad way to make a living as a couple. But you think in systems, and you put people in place. You don't touch a lot of box tape, I imagine, right? So what is your process? Who have you hired? And kind of talk us through your process.
Okay. Yeah, I think honestly that's probably what I'm most proud of with our business and where we've come the last 12 months. So when we talked last, it was me and it was one other employee. And I say he was part-time, but he was probably more like 30 hours a week, and I'd have to kick him out the door because we just didn't have anything else to do. Right. And so as we started sourcing and started growing, what I did was I set up the system to basically run itself and run without me. And so at first it was Richard, who is my office manager, and he's trained to do everything with the exception of placing purchase orders. That's probably the one part of the business that I've held on to. I still have it, and that's my next hire. And I'm trying to work on that now. But basically what we've done is I set him up. At first he was doing everything. He was sourcing, he was bagging, tagging, shipping, the works. And then after, what I saw was he was so good at sourcing that his time prepping shipments was costing me money. So my first hire, Yeah. So my first hire after him was to bring in someone to replace him in the warehouse. And so I hired James. James was actually his roommate and was just kind of tired of what he was doing. Great kid, 22, 23-year-old kid, and with an incredible work ethic. So we brought him in and we trained him on the bagging and the labeling. So at that point, Richard could step out of the bagging and the labeling. He still created shipments and finalized the shipments, but he was able to slowly remove himself from that.
Hmm.
And so then what I did as we moved into the replens model, I brought in a shopper because that's not my strong point, and that's not me, right?
Yeah, some people love to shop.
Yeah.
And we're talking, here's your shopping list, hey, go buy these items, as many as you can from these stores, right?
Yep, absolutely. So as the photo booth business kind of slowed down, I brought in one of my photo booth employees and made him my retail arbitrage guy. So I trained him on sourcing retail arbitrage and online arbitrage. And so he did that. And I basically made him our arbitrage manager. And so he did all the shopping. So the way we do it is we run shopping lists every 2 weeks. And he goes out and spends probably 3 or 4 days shopping and buying all the stuff on our shopping lists. And so his off week, he's back in the office. He's looking up the items that he took photos of while he was in store. He's working whatever store that we're focused on at that point. He's working on that store. So half the time he's sourcing, half the time he's shopping. And then I got to the point where James and Richard, just doing the shipment, couldn't handle the growth. So then I hired a warehouse manager, and we brought him in and we trained him to do nothing but manage the warehouse. So now we're set up to where I have a warehouse manager who runs the warehouse, runs all shipment preparation, and James works under him. And then I have my retail arbitrage sourcing manager who does nothing but focus on retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, focuses on purchasing and getting that in and growing.
Using the replens strategy.
Using the replen strategy, yep. And then now Richard has refocused, and he's solely my wholesale sourcing manager. So he continues to grow the wholesaling. Now Brad grows arbitrage, and then the two guys in the warehouse run the warehouse.
So it sounds like Richard might take over the POs here sometime soon, maybe, and then you guys can go on like a 6-month vacation, right?
Maybe. Actually, so I think our next move, we're starting to have a lot of success with turning these wholesale items into private label. And so I've gone in and I've placed recent purchase orders, and I've noticed that some of the stuff that we bought, it showed up in generic packaging from our wholesaler. And so it ranks really well for the keywords related to the product and not the brand.
Generic keywords. I love what you just said there. I want to make sure people didn't just gloss over what you just said. So the keywords that describe the product in the bag are more important than the brand name on the label. People are searching for the keywords. That's when you know you've got a potential great private label product. You just stick your own label on it. People aren't searching for the brand name.
Yep.
They're searching for the content in the bag. We've got one of those right now that I'm noticing we're selling quite a bit. It's a very generic word that describes it. And I'm thinking, hey, why can't we just private label this, start selling it ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we're starting to move into. And as I'm placing my purchase orders, I got to a brand that all the stuff we buy from them is generic, but it sells under their brand, right? It just shows up in generic packaging. And I'm reordering, and I'm noticing our private label stuff that we shipped in is all sold out. And I wasn't really paying attention to it on a daily basis. And it's a listing that I haven't even really had the time to optimize very well. And it all sold out. And so the next phase is to hire someone who will come in and will evaluate our wholesale products and reports that we run to see what can be then transitioned over to private label.
Yeah.
And that person will take over the purchase orders as well.
And it, in many cases, it's just a matter of asking the manufacturer,
Absolutely.
hey, do you mind if we stick our own label on this bag? And a lot of times they'll say, as long as you're buying from me, I don't care what you do with it, right?
Yeah. No, I
It
haven't
can
had
be
anyone tell me no yet. So,
exactly.
and it's not, we're not doing it on major brands that
No.
come in, the sales are related to the brand name.
Yeah, nothing that you'll ever see a commercial on TV for,
Yeah.
or an advertisement online for. It's these really off brands that you've never heard of before, and they'll say, "Hey, we're happy to sell you, 100 units. Slap whatever label you want on the bag,
Yeah.
and call it your own brand." Yeah, then
Yep.
you can kind of protect your territory.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So my focus has been, at least the last 6 months, to kind of remove me from the daily involvement of everything. Purchase
Mhm.
orders is just the one thing that I haven't got removed from. So, but it allows me to focus on coaching now, and helping people start and grow their Amazon business.
That's right. And
And I
like
can
I
place
said,
purchase orders from anywhere,
yeah,
So we were doing some renovations on our house a little over a month ago, and so we had to move out for a few weeks, and we went up and visited family up north, and it was great because Richard knows how to run the business, and he runs the office while I'm gone, and I just check in from time to time, but I was able to just step away and relax, and spend time with my family. And the whole reason I did this to begin with. So
exactly.
really
And
good.
what you have now is a sellable asset. This business could be evaluated and assigned a value, and you guys could sell this operation because you've been focusing on doing only the things that only you can do. You're eliminating everything else off of your desk. Unless I'm the only one that can do it, I'm going to have someone else do it. And right now, it's coaching and placing POs, which soon you're going to be out of that as well. You're going to pass that off to someone else. It'll just be coaching. And then, like I encouraged you, we were corresponding here a week or so ago. I think you should write a book. You guys have an awesome story, awesome entrepreneurship journey that I think a lot of people could really benefit from. Just tell your story. And I think even after this episode, a lot of people will be clamoring, saying, "Hey, I want those guys as my coach." So we'll stick a link in the show notes on how to make that happen. Uh, but even that, at some point, you're going to have some other bigger opportunities and some big things come along. I've seen this story play out time and time and time again, Rich, where you kind of grow into these new roles, and you stay ahead of your business, and you keep growing, and the opportunities keep coming, and now you're invited to go speak at an event, and it's just it's a fun journey, and I love watching you guys take that journey. And I I don't want to gloss over the time, effort, and energy that's gone into being multiple stream of income business builders. You guys take care of yourselves, you're healthy, you have a good routine. Like, talk us through that a little bit. How important is it to be motivated, be focused, take care of yourself? Like, talk us through that a little bit. I didn't set you up for this question before we talked. I'm just curious. Talk me through that a little bit. Cause I know Shelly, like, isn't she working out right now? That's why she couldn't be here.
Yeah, she's with her trainer right now, so that's something that's really important to her, and it's something she uses to just remove herself from the business, from whatever, and it's just her time to refocus, and she loves that. So, um, yeah, I think we have gone through different phases of pretty intense focus that allows us to create what we've done. You know, like with the replens model, when we dug into it, it was a good 2 months of solid. Just we trained, we figured out a system, and we attacked it as hard as we could, and then we started seeing the results of that, and so we had to back off, and we had to start figuring out ways to manage it all, and manage it, and that was building a team to manage it. But it was those intense focus moments, like when we started our photo booth. We had to get in there, and we had to focus on what it is that we wanted to do in building our brand. And then we built the team of our photo booth attendants that run all of our events. And now we just kind of sit back and we do the sales, and we let our team run all the busy work, all the events and all that stuff. It's the same with our Amazon business, where there were times where I was working a full-time job. I'd come home, I'd spend a couple hours with the kids, we put the kids to bed, and then Shelly and I would sit at our individual computers and we'd work till midnight, just sourcing. At that time it was wholesale, and so it was just researching different products and different brands and firing off 20 emails a night, because that's a numbers game. And we realized real quick that it was a numbers game. If I sent out 10 requests in a month, probably not going to get a new account, and it's going to become a struggle, and I'm going to get discouraged and I'm not seeing success.
Right.
But if I'm sending out 10 emails every day consistently for a solid month or a solid 2 months, the numbers tell me that I'm going to find 4 or 5 new accounts, and because of that intense focus, we could find those accounts. It felt like we found the accounts a lot quicker, but it was just the intense focus of, all right, this is where we're at right now. We need to land several brands. We need to land several accounts. And so if I want to do that, it's not 10 emails a month, it's 10 emails a day. And the numbers tell me that we're going to land what we're looking for with that focus.
Yeah,
So,
I don't ever want to gloss over the, I think it's a Brian Tracy thing where I first heard it, was that period of intense focused effort. Anytime you're building something significant, there's going to be a period of intense focused effort. It's not sustainable. You can't do it the rest of your life. I kind of liken it to the first few months after you add a baby to the house. It's like there's going to be some intense focused effort. We're all going to be out of our comfort zone a little bit here. We're not going to be watching anywhere near as much TV or whatever our hobbies are going to have to take a back seat for just a short period of time. Because right now it's all about, same thing when a family member's sick. Intense focused effort on getting them well. Add a baby to the house. Intense focused effort. The baby is homeschoolers, we often say the baby is the lesson. For the next couple months, the baby is the lesson. Okay. We're putting the books away. When you're building the business, the business is the focus, intense focused effort with your free time, with your spare time, and you just go all in. And it's a pretty consistent thing when I talk to people who have hit your level, Rich, where they had that. They went through that. And it doesn't always look like that. The next stage is building systems.
Yep.
And, just kind of gently walking around, keeping all these plates spinning, and then assigning someone to spin the plate, but that intense focused effort of getting all the plates spinning to begin with, that's a very real thing. You've got to go through that part of the process. And that's where I think a coach can really help too. Not to pitch our coaching program, find a mentor, find someone who's been there. Our coaching program is phenomenal. You guys are some of our great coaches, a great team, a couple dozen coaches at this point that are helping people in the spare time that they have as they built these incredible businesses. So yeah, I just wanted to point out, you kind of pointed out a 2-step system: intense focused effort, and then work on your systems, constantly replacing yourself and scaling up as you go. So what are your long-term goals for this business?
Well, with the way that I've set it up now, I've really segmented it into departments that now have like a department manager, a department head that we can grow out. And I love that I have it. I know a lot of people kind of go the VA route. I love that I have it here locally, that I sit with these guys every day. There's some they're my best friends, really. Like, we sit here and we have a good time every day. Right. And I do think there's a place for VAs, and I think that we've reached that place for VAs now. And so that's kind of the next step, where I'm going to build a team we'll start with 1 or 2 VAs that'll work under Richard, and we'll work with him in our wholesale sourcing. Once we've got that, then I'll add a VA that'll work with Brad under our OA sourcing. And they'll report direct to him. They're not going to report to me. I might provide some initial training up front, but they're going to report to these guys so that it can continue to grow but these guys know what they're doing. Part of that intense focus effort is mastering the craft.
Yes.
And then being able to teach it to somebody else. And so the way the success we've seen the last couple of months with this model that I've set up, I really think that we'll do 5 million next year. No problem. And, hopefully 7 or 8 million the year after. I want to be an 8-figure seller here within the next, 3 to 4 years. That's kind of where we're headed.
Yeah. With some of these brands, hopefully off of Amazon, so that you're diversified, pick up a few more clients like the chiropractor, a truly diversified portfolio, multiple streams of income using the internet creatively. That's what we do around here.
Yeah.
I think there's a unique approach, maybe a course or something we can capture some training in the way that you guys do this, because I know we talked through it a little bit today, but it kind of went over some folks' heads, I'm sure. But if we gave you a camera and 4 or 6 hours to kind of talk through and walk through the process, I think there's some valuable content there that we don't have yet, kind of blending replens and wholesale. So let's work on that. I think a lot of people are standing up cheering right now as I said that, because it's a pretty cool thing when you start taking two things that are working well. And we teach wholesale very well in our community. We teach replens, but we haven't really ever merged the two and said, here's how you kind of blend them. And they kind of cross-pollinate and they complement each other. You guys are killing it with that model. So I'm excited to see where we go with that. That might be your book. I don't know, but I think it would be a great course. I think a lot of people would sign up for that, mastermind or something, but we need to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all about the wholesale hybrid model is what we like to call it around here. So
wholesale hybrid. I love it, man. Yeah, no one steal that name now. That's great. Well, what else is on your mind? I know you guys have spent some time coaching some students now, and you kind of know the questions that are coming up in the community. And you made a great post. I don't want to leave this out. You made a post. It was actually on September 11th, right? An easy date to remember, where you're kind of posting an update about your progress. We'll stick a link in the show notes just saying, hey, how appreciative you were, how much your business has grown. I think you'd had like a $6,500 or $7,000 day, selling hundreds of units, and you were just saying it's an automated system that we've built. It was a great post. I'll definitely stick a link in the show notes. But what's on your heart as you talk to this community, as you talk to the listeners of this podcast? Just speak to us for a couple minutes.
I think that the more we do this, it leads for us. It leads to other things. The more we grow where we're at now, it's really opening my mind to other possibilities and other opportunities. Right now we're in the middle of launching a clothing line that hopefully will be, we'll do a little bit of Amazon, but it's kind of going to be an off Amazon project. It's in the hunting niche, and my brother-in-law approached me because of the success we're seeing. He came to me and he said, hey, I've got this great idea. I have contacts that do, the different contacts that he had that could help us grow off Amazon. He's like, but your Amazon skills is something that I don't have. Your selling online skills is something I don't have. I think together we could really kill this, where individually we might not do as well.
Sure.
So now it's leading to this opportunity to partner with my brother-in-law, who I have a lot of respect for, and I'll get to spend extra time with him and developing another revenue source. Who's a brilliant real estate agent and brilliant marketer in his own realm. And so now together we'll bring both of our skills together and launch something that is off of Amazon primarily. So I just love the opportunities we have out there. I mean, Amazon's great, and I have every intent to continue to just blow up my Amazon business any way I can. But we live in a world where the opportunity is just around us everywhere. And Amazon facilitates that. It may even have helped create that. And so, I have been pigeonholed into Amazon for such a long time, but what I think that what's done is just it's opened up my mind. It's opened up the opportunities that are around us. And so I'm excited to start developing those off Amazon revenue sources, those off Amazon brands that they'll come back and they'll translate to Amazon. Great, but we can do a lot off of it too. So
and as I'm listening to you talk, kind of the lesson in the lesson is that list of names is growing of people that have said, "Hey, wow, you're succeeding with this. Let's partner up. Let's build a relationship. Let's do something together." That list is the actual asset. That list of people that know, like, and trust you, that you can do a business deal with, that you can call when you're in trouble. That's that. As that list grows, and people love adding names to the list of people who are succeeding, who are competent, they've shown their expertise. So that chiropractor, after you start selling 15 pillows a day, is going to tell the buddy down the street or maybe, next chiropractor convention he goes to, he's going to do a presentation and say, "Hey, by the way," right? So your phone's going to be ringing, a whole new business model, internet marketing consulting, not just Amazon, right? So there's so many directions you can go. But what you have to be willing to do is constantly be thinking, am I the only person that could be doing the job I'm doing right now? If you're going to think like an entrepreneur, if you're going to think like a business builder, multiple income streams. Now, some people are perfectly happy. "Jim, if I could make an extra $500 a week, it would change my life. And I don't need any of that other stuff." I get it. We're here to help you. That's the Replens course. Go spend 3 or 4 hours and make it happen.
Yep.
But if you want to be a true entrepreneur, launching multiple businesses that can be sold someday, I love your mindset. There's a lot of things that you're getting right here. And I can't wait to see where you guys go.
Thanks. We have a good time doing it. It provides the freedom that I never would have even imagined. When I was working in the corporate world, I don't have to ask permission to go do what I want to do, what I enjoy. I just have to ask permission from myself.
Yeah.
That's about it, and give myself the permission to go out. Because I feel like we've earned it sometimes. And I love being here. I love doing what I do. And Amazon's provided a lot of those opportunities for us.
So what is your daily routine? I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah. So most days, that's another thing that I love about this is before I get up and, get to work. That was it. Like I didn't get to spend any time with my family in the morning. It was just up and gone. After work, I'd go to the gym. I'd get home at 7:30, get to see my kids for an hour, but now, I get up, I spend time with my kids. I help them get off to school. Often I drive them to school myself. So it's just that extra time is awesome. And then I usually start off my day with a run or a lift. I'll go into the gym for a little bit, and then I'm here at the office. So I typically have 1 or 2 training calls a day, usually in the mornings. We'll get those done, and then it's a matter of just figuring out what Brad and Richard are doing. I don't even have to worry about the warehouse anymore. Those guys are phenomenal, and when they need help, they don't come to me. They come to Richard. Because Richard, I've set him up. He is my wholesale manager, but he's also my general manager. And so I can leave and the show just runs. So I'll check in with Richard. I'll check in with Brad. Help them from time to time with their sourcing. And then, some days I cut out at 3, some days I'm here till 7. It just kind of depends on what I have to work on now. And, if I get a call and I hear the kids are in the pool, they're home from school, then I'll take off and go spend some time with them. But sometimes I have coaching calls at 6 p.m. and, I'm here for a little bit. It kind of, I outside of, hey, I want to go to the gym in the morning and I want to check in with the guys for a few hours, I have the freedom to do what it is that I want to do.
It's pretty flexible.
That's part of it.
That's the dream lifestyle, man.
Yeah.
And after, it's been 17, coming up on 18 years for me since I had a real job. I thank God every day. You never know what life's going to throw at you. But for those 18 years being here, for seeing my kids grow and being available, and my office door is right there. The kids know if it's open, come on in anytime. If it's shut, it means Dad's probably doing a podcast, which means it's open 90% of the time. If I'm even in my office, a lot of times I'm just sitting out, on the couch on the phone doing what we do. Warehouse that kind of runs itself, and it is a beautiful thing. It doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't just happen because you buy a course and follow the 8 steps. it takes a mindset, it takes commitment, it takes some time, but the opportunity is real. And you guys are just more evidence of that. And
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
that you're coaching with us, man. That
I
is
like to
just,
tell. No, thank. Yeah, I like to tell people it's a simple business, but
yes.
it's not easy. It
Yeah,
requires effort. It requires a lot of dedication, but you can learn it, and then it's a simple business.
it really
Um,
is. Yeah,
so yeah,
that's
and
great.
I love. So we have our warehouse here. It's a mile and a half from the house. So my kids will even come over here and they'll hang out in the break room. My 10-year-old loves to go out there in the warehouse and bag, and she'll ask me every Saturday morning, "Go to the office?" "Oh, not today," but she's always loving it just when she's coming here and helping out. So that it's definitely involved our whole family. It's a part of who we are.
Oh, those are some of the best lessons the kids can learn is seeing, just seeing the family kind of run a business together and the inner workings of it. And entrepreneurship is just a thing of beauty, man. So many benefits. Your kids are going to
Yep.
be so blessed because of what they're seeing and just dad being there, mom being there. It's awesome. Super proud of you guys. Honored
Yeah.
to work alongside you.
So
Is
the
that
wife's
the
here. You want to
is
say
that
hi to
Shelly?
Shelly?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure everyone who's watching on YouTube would love to see Shelly and say, "Hey, maybe we can put her on the spot with a tough question, huh?"
Ready.
Hey, Shelly, have a good
Hey,
workout.
yes, fast.
Awesome.
Try to make it fast.
Oh, we didn't mean to rush you, but it is great to
No,
see you.
I always cancel on him for one reason or another, and I just
No, it's great. Well, we were actually just wrapping up, but I'll put you on the spot and say, hey, what advice do you have as we wind up this episode? And for those of you who are just listening, Shelly just got back from a workout, so now she's joining, and you can see them if you watch on YouTube. We'll have a link in the show notes. But Shelly, any tips for the viewers? You guys have built an incredible business. We've talked about the numbers. We've kind of talked about your daily routine, but what comes to mind? I know you guys are doing some coaching for us now. So what thoughts would you have? And it's okay if you say something Richard already said, but I would just love to hear from your perspective, encourage the folks that are listening today.
I think patience is probably a big one. That it's not going to happen overnight. You won't scale overnight. You can scale quickly, but to just have patience and patience with yourself mainly. If you get a product that you thought was going to be great and it doesn't do as well, then don't focus on that. Just keep moving forward. So I think that was a big thing for us. We don't dwell on the missteps. You just learn and then keep moving forward. So.
I love it. Yeah. Jim Rohn says you can focus on the loss or you can focus on the lesson. And that's the difference between success and failure long term. I love it. That's a great tip. Great tip. Anything else come to mind before we wrap this one up?
I guess one more thing. Rich and I, we chat a lot. And I know a lot of questions that we get is, aren't you afraid? Aren't you afraid this will happen? Aren't you afraid that will happen? And every time we talk about it, it's like, well, what's the alternative? Not taking action. And that's, I think, more of a fear for us is just not doing anything at all. You can't live any part of your life is in the what if, because then you just don't do anything. So we're always one that just, if something bad happens, it happens. Just get over it and you move on. So
that's right.
That was one of the things I used to evaluate when I quit my job. I stepped back and I looked at it and I'm like, well, what's the worst case scenario of me quitting my job? Worst case, I have to go back to my boss and ask for my job back. It was a pretty good job. He'd take me back in a heartbeat. So worst case, I am where I am right now. Like best case scenario, we get to live the life of our dreams on our terms. So the reward more than outpaced the risk for us. And so it was, for me at that point, it was a no-brainer. And so, what is the worst case scenario in your life situation right now? Well, it's probably not near as bad as you think. But if you take that risk and you take that leap of faith, the upside is incredible. So
Yeah, we live in the right time to be able to think that way. When you can launch a business for a few dollars, you listen to a free podcast, join a free Facebook group, pick up a course that costs a few dollars, literally, and change your life. What a blessed time to be alive, to be an entrepreneur. It hasn't always been that way, but you guys are certainly taking full advantage of the time that we live in and serving well. And I've said it like 4 times already, but Shelly, now that you're here, I just love that you guys are coaching with us. So that's just phenomenal. So excited about that. And I love that you guys hopped on here for an update episode. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy and benefit from this. And thank you for spending some time with us.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's our pleasure.
I mean, for 5 minutes for me.
Yeah. Hey, it was a great 5 minutes. Very, very insightful, philosophical, and helpful. Very, very good stuff. And I think a lot of people love seeing you guys doing this as a couple too. It'll inspire some people, I'm sure. But for the listeners, I just want to remind you that every link you'll need, all the resources you'll need, silentjim.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, you need to know that 90% of our episodes are audio only. You need to go catch all those too. silentjim.com is where you can hear those and all the links we mentioned today and everything else. But God bless you, all the business building warriors out there. It was great hanging out with you guys today, and we'll have another great episode like this one again real soon for you.